Hello and welcome to a quick new video. I am Stephanie West. I'm an LPC here in the state of Michigan, and I've shared before my desire is to help equip people with understanding about mental health. So mental health education is something that's really important to me, and I want to offer up a quick understanding of what happens when anxiety is in our story. Now, rarely are things in mental health, the field of mental health, going to be linear. So it's not like if this sort of abuse happened, this is the outcome, or if this type of neglect happened, or this particular experience happened, this is the outcome, because there's a lot of choice in our story. But there is something that tends to be linear, and it's this equation that helps indicate why we experience the anxiety that we feel. And so up on the board here, I have two words. I have the words risk versus resources. I guess that's three words if you want to get technical. But one of the things that I want to preface this by saying is it's not just risk and resources, it's our perception of risk and our perception of resources. That's what we're dealing with today. So once I understand risk and resources, I understand what the driver is behind anxiety that I experience. So this is a linear relationship. My perception of risk will go up when my perception of resources decreases. My perception of risk will go down when my perception of resources increases. So let's use a very, very small little anecdote of I have a gas tank in my vehicle and it's almost empty and I need gas, but I have to go, I get out late tonight, I have an early day tomorrow, and there's not a lot of time to get gas, so I'll have to be strategic. That might feel a little anxiety inducing, except if I have money on my debit card, it's actually not that big of a deal because I have the resource that I need for the risk that's showing up. I don't have as much time as I want, but if I'm strategic, we should be fine. Let's run through that same scenario. So I don't have gas in my gas tank, I work late tonight, I work first thing in the morning, and I don't have money on my debit card. Notice the risk would organically be bigger there because there's a very essential resource missing. There's finances that are missing. And what happens is when we don't have the resources to deal with whatever the situation is, our perception of risk goes up. And so often I work with clients on understanding, okay, what's the risk that you're feeling right now? And why does this feel like a risk? So we take inventory of their resources, and then we have to talk through, okay, what resources might you benefit from while you're in therapy here? Maybe we have to do some skill building. Maybe we have to work in some anxiety reduction strategies. Maybe we have to look at some environmental management. Maybe we have to look at different choices that they're making that's, adding into their distress. There's a whole host of things we can do when we understand that the risk is being experienced because there's a gap in the resources that are needed to handle the risk. And so I don't want to be oversimplistic, but when we talk about anxiety, that's the relationship that we're often navigating. So if you're going through a particularly tumultuous season right now, ask yourself, what are the resources I need? Because the more resources I build in, the lower my perception of risk will be. And in the future, I'm going to do a video on proactive resourcing and why I believe that's paramount for us living a life of wellness. But if you are in any sort of season of crisis right now, and there is this pervasive sense of anxiety or dis-ease going on, check into your resources and ask yourself, what do I need to do to make this particular issue, this particular struggle, this particular season more tolerable? Or maybe how can I get through it in the best way possible? And so it might be tangible resources, it might be, economic resources, it might be friendship resources, so community resources. It might be related to skill building that needs to happen. That's the beauty of working with a therapist. We work intentionally on building resources to best manage your perception of risk. Thanks so much.